Good morning, fellow Malaysians. This is Matthias Chang, once again from Future Fast Forward. I told myself that I will hold back my criticisms after the horrendous defeat of Pakatan Harapan in the Johor by-election. And I felt that I should hold back because I'm so fed up that more words as the cause of defeat will be water off the duck's back. And this morning, I was very upset about what was said by the leaders within Pakatan Harapan. I was so upset that I had to meditate to calm myself down. And I hope in due course you will know why I'm so mad. And I seek your indulgence that I am compelled to make this address to you, even though I felt otherwise since the by-election results. And I told you before the election that I had given to 3 people my analysis with foresight, not hindsight, about the event of the elections. And I likened the strategy of the Pakatan Harapan as, playing suicide poker. I repeat, their strategy as I perceived it, and the course of their campaign, was likened to a player, a gambler, playing suicide poker. And of course, you know the word suicide, what it means, right? So you're playing suicide poker. Can you expect anybody to really win? Come what made the results? That said, I will address the issue later. But first of all, for 1.5 years or more, I've been saying, stop it, Pakatan Harapan, stop it, Anwar Ibrahim, to focus and to invite the entire country to focus on you, yourself, the PM in waiting. You demand and demand. Even though there was an agreement, a bit without a date, for Mahathir to pass over the baton to you, Anwar Ibrahim. And each time, despite many and repeated assurances by the Prime Minister, oh yes, I will fulfill that promise to hand over the baton to Anwar. Anwar, you've been so insecure, so emo, right? That you keep on repeating that demand, culminating in the most arrogant demand after repeated assurance and also after your assurance. Time after time, I will wait. I will not be in a hurry to be the PM. I will wait. And it was also repeated many times, the ultimate authority to ensure the smooth transfer was the Pakatan Harapan Presidential Council. And yet, recently, you declared, I want to be the PM by May 2020. You even specified the precise date and the year. Then Tun Mahathir went to UN and before Bloomberg gave a statement. I will only step down in 3 years' time. And then you then issued a statement, Anwar. I will wait. I'm prepared to wait. Alright? And Tun has to give another assurance. I will hand over the baton to Anwar as per agreed at a time of his choosing. And then what happens? For over 1.5 years, the entire country kept on saying, we need Mahathir to be the Prime Minister of the next term because otherwise the country will be in chaos. Almost a unanimous chorus of support. Tun Mahathir must be the Prime Minister till next election. Otherwise, the country will be in the dogs. Just before your declaration, Anwar, that you want to be PM on or before May 2020, cyber troopers, mouthpiece from Pakatan Harapan parties, as well as from the UMNO PAS contingent, went on a frenzy, without exception, every social media. Mahathir, you must step down. They're destroying the country, blah, blah, blah. Hand over now to Anwar. Crescendo. Can you see now, my dear people of Malaysia? How can the whole country was screaming and demanding that Tun Mahathir must be the Prime Minister till next election, otherwise the country go to the dogs, can flip-flop overnight into a crescendo, a tsunami of demanding he step down. Now, immediately. And have I not said in almost every video, in my WhatsApp messages, please learn from what is going on in America. The modus operandi of the Democratic Party leaders who can accept the defeat of the war criminal Hillary Clinton. Launch coup after coup after coup to remove a legitimate, duly elected leader of America, the president. Right? So, it's as if what I say to you, open your bloody eyes and watch and learn, has gone down the drain. Likewise, Tun Mahathir, like Trump, you may like or hate Trump, is irrelevant. It's the parallel, the analogy. Tun Mahathir was the duly elected Prime Minister. Duly elected, and appointed by the Agong, okay, with the support of the majority in Parliament. Okay. Yet from day one, as I said in my video on May 9th, and I said to you all, and I narrated what happened at the door of Tun Mahathir's house in the Mines Resort City. A plot is against you. You may not even be sworn in as Prime Minister. From day one, I've warned the country. There are plots for coup. That didn't work. The other method came into being. You know, both sides, I'm telling you, are playing a different game. Both sides, I'm telling you, of the divide. Both. All right. One was to push the leader into a corner for plea bargaining. All right. Squeeze and squeeze to get something out of Tun Mahathir for their own benefit. And the other side, squeeze and squeeze to ensure Tun Mahathir will be shackled and will take all the blame as a Prime Minister of Malaysia. Okay? Alright? Bear in mind, every issue that came out and was controversial in your view were first promoted by the ministers in the cabinet. Sprung as a surprise to all of us. And then one side says, we will have violence, we will have demonstration. We oppose it. The cabinet kept quiet. Tun Mahathir has said, okay, tactical retreat, we stop it to avoid violence. Okay, but the cyber troopers, the plotters, the mouthpieces went on in a very systematic campaign, all right, to destroy Tun Mahathir in person. Now, I'm not saying that Tun Mahathir did not make any mistakes. Of course, ultimately as a Prime Minister, the buck stops with him. But very few of you understood the ramifications, the undercurrent of a plot, of a coup, all right, implemented in a very sophisticated manner. Okay, and you'll notice that the so-called leaders, the top leaders of both sides of the divide never dared uttered a challenge. But they got the rank and file, okay, to whip up a tsunami of criticisms. Okay. Yes, I did criticize Pakatan from day one because I saw with my own eyes what is going to happen in the future. But sad to say, all right, for reasons unknown to me, right, after my duty, but sad to say, like I said, for reasons unknown to me, Tun Mahathir ignored my warnings. Maybe he was in a catch-22. He had no choice because the government is his coalition. Otherwise, he'll be toppled. So I understand that. I understand the situation. But that didn't prevent me or stop me from doing my duty to tell all of you the shit is happening. And I use a caption, overrated, underemployed, to describe a bunch of idiots, wet behind ears, virgins, low quality, low energy. So, having said that, everything I forecasted and every warning I give you all in advance has now come true. So I'm now saying to you, inshallah, the coup attempts will stop. Inshallah. But there could be a chance that because of insecurity, the DNA of a coup plotter, like Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Shift, Clinton, and what have you, Obama, they will never stop because they have one power. And now that there's a power, they're addicted to power. Because I always say, there are two limbs to the power cliche. But you will always emphasize and only read and quote the second limb. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We forgot the first limb. Power corrupts. First limb, power corrupts. Second limb is like absolute power corrupts absolutely. Therefore, the first limb tells you inherently the DNA of power is corruption. Power corrupts. No two ways about it. It's a degree. And there is a power. There is a power. Alright? The stature. The awe. And everybody bow in awe to a false power. You see? Alright? And then they went off the tangent. So every now and then, Allah talks about reformasi, must do this, must do that, must do this, must do that. But for heaven's sake, all of you, the entire cabinet, other than those nominated from Bersatu, are the boys, the protege of Anwar, Kisiang, and Guan Eng. Their DNA is reformasi. Their DNA is New Malaysia. And yet, with all the majority and the power of the majority in cabinet, they did nothing. And these are my words, right? I'm in time to come, I'll tell you, right? That what I say, and what I accuse of them, did nothing is backed by actual facts. And yet, who gets the blame? Tun Mahathir. You may not like him or love him, irrelevant. Reality is, this whole group in the cabinet maneuvered to shove the blame on one person. It's a political strategy. Zero in on the head, the fish head, so to speak, and then wipe it off in one stroke in the coup. Okay. So you ask yourself, right? Otherwise, outside the government, giving speeches, right? His wife's previously sat on the Presidential Council. What the hell will they discuss if not reformasi? And yet, they say, we are unable to implement reformasi program. We need more time. No, we need more honeymoon and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, horseshit. The reason why they did not implement any of their programs is because they're so intoxicated with power, arrogance, and make believe some importance, all right? And their head is between the two legs. It's worse than being buried in the sand. When your head is in between your two legs, right, you think of nothing else but your self-indulgent activity. That is the reason why the failure of the government. Okay, so now I received a report yesterday. Tun said after the defeat, the fiasco of the by-election, that he would reshuffle the cabinet. First reaction, to rectify the mistakes. Alright, it's so. The cabinet screwed up. But he said need more time. Maybe somewhere in APEC meeting next year. And on last Thursday, Anwar Ibrahim saw Tun Mahathir. And the report says that he discussed with Tun Mahathir about the reshuffle. And thereafter, there was an official statement. Reshuffle of the cabinet will be just before the APEC meeting in 2020. Alright? Now you ask a question, none of you have asked this question, and that infuriates me. If Mahathir was the sole person to be blamed for the fiasco, and the leaders of Pakatan who are not in the cabinet, Kit Siang, Anwar, right, and other people, why don't they come forward and take responsibility? Alright? After all, if you want to be PM or future ministers, whatever, surely it's the time where you contribute to ensure the ship sails correctly in the stormy waters. Alright? Now, I said earlier, Anwar demanded, right, May 2022, I want to be Prime Minister. Yet, it's reported. Headlines, Malay Mail. Anwar says it again. Won't join Mahathir cabinet, but will wait to be PM. This is the report. Okay? Malay Mail. Alright? Okay. Now, what's interesting is this, right? The other quote is a quotation from Malay Mail. Not my quotation, I'm reading out. Google and download it. The understanding to me is clear, Anwar says. The Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and myself will wait. Anwar told reporters after attending the convention Reformists 219 here in Pakatan Harapan with Pakatan Harapan Airlines. PM, his wife Deputy PM, and he will wait. Why don't Mahathir wait? He's not waiting. He's telling everyone in the country, I will hand over at the time of my choosing. He's not waiting. He's working to a date to hand over. If at all anybody's waiting, is the Deputy PM and Anwar. But strangely, this time around, he mentioned DPM and him is waiting. The understanding to me is clear. The Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and myself will wait. Draw your own conclusion, okay? Why would Deputy Prime Minister and Anwar wait? Either the Deputy Prime Minister tell Anwar, you wait, don't kacau, don't muddy the waters, or Deputy Prime Minister and Anwar were together in the past, plotting in the coup. And when they failed, they realized both of them must wait lah. Understand? That's one conclusion, okay? Now then, in the previous videos, right, even Tun Mahathir said, right, and Kisa said, we didn't expect to win the 40th election. Therefore, we overpromised in our manifesto, right? They have not denied that. I repeatedly said so in my previous videos. Now, again, right, This is the headlines, right? Kisang, amid it, we promised the impossible in manifesto. Lim tells PH. You know what? Okay. You download this, okay? Alright? I'll rush off now, okay? Just take the picture, that's all, Bear that in mind. Now, Pakatan Harapan must be frank with the people and admit it promised the impossible in the election manifesto. DAP Supremo Lim Kisang said. Repeat, Pakatan Harapan must be frank with the people and admit that it promised the impossible in the election manifesto. DAP Supremo Lim Kisang said. So if Kisang said it's impossible to implement the manifesto, the reformist manifesto, right? Then all the ministers of Pakatan Harapan must be lying to the truth and still promising heaven until they were slapped right across their face, both sides slapped in the Johor by-election, and said, look, enough of your promises, deliver. Now they say, we can't deliver. We overpromised. Alright? You see, I sent what message to all of you after the election, right? And I say, as the case of previous defeat, they will have a post-mortem. And they promised to learn from the defeat. Nah. Why is nah? I tell you. No leaders who suffered defeat will say, I am the cause of the defeat. They will pass the buck to someone else. Oh, he's the one, he's the one, he's the one. But never themselves. Never. Alright? Here it is. Kisang never say himself. He says, Pakatan Harapan. Everyone promised heaven. Too much. Impossible. Therefore, we cannot deliver. A bit is a confession of someone, right? They all promised. Then, okay. Deliver those which you can implement, isn't it? They promised what? 100 days, blah, blah, blah. Right? Then the people say, manifesto should not be taken literally, or what have you. Can you see now? They're playing with words, semantics, right? Manipulating your mind, right? And selling you promises. Okay? Promises only, That's why, in the present day, women are very clever nowadays. A man can say, I love you, right? You know what a woman says? Sure, deliver first. What you do to me? For me to be your wife, I want security. A bungalow, a semi-D, a car, whatever. Deliver first, before I say I do, till death do us part. So, to you fellow Malaysians, right? Be as clever as the woman nowadays in the modern world, right? Don't fall for the I love you. Get security in hand first. Get security from Pakatan Harapan. Deliver what you promise. Okay? Before we say we surrender to you. We trust in you completely. No such thing in reality. Okay? So now, he said that. I quote, Pakatan Harapan must be frank with the people and admit that he promised the impossible. Okay? These are Kisang's word. Then what? You know what happened? Now on this hand, Kisang says that the manifesto is impossible. Impossible. Then we have, I'm so shocked to read this, right? Coming from Bersatu, a Muslim and a Malay. His name is Datuk Rais Hussein Muhammad Arif. I believe he's the Director of Strategy for Bersatu. This is what he says. This quotation, right? By Razi Razak of Malay Mail. Can you please Google it? So it's not my words. It's a reportage by Malay Mail. And some of the words are in quotation. Let me read to you. Okay. The first part, it says, he said the ruling coalition must treat the so-called Buku Harapan, okay, as though it were a holy book, with failure to do so likely to lead to defeat in the next general election. Okay, this is a reportage, not a quotation. Okay, never mind. But here's a quotation. Please don't conclude that this MCA, BN or Mufakat national victory. Many people did not know what the hell is Mufakat national. Quote again. I hope after this, the manifesto becomes the Quran. Why become the Quran? This is what we need to deliver. That's what we need to deliver. During the post-Tanjung Payar by-election discussion organized by Cent GPS and ZCG at the Putra World Trade Center last night. He declined to divulge details but hinted that the conclusions pointed to the urgent need to address the livelihoods of Malaysians. This meant paying attention to portions of the manifesto concerning issues like rising costs, affordable housing, jobs creation, and the like. So now he says, as if he's blank, he's blur. The directed strategy of Bersatu, one of the brains of Pakatan Harapan. We must do all these things, as if he only realized it. He had a eureka moment now after being slapped by the voters. But I thought all this while they said, we are going to implement reformasi. We're going to reform institutions. We look after the people. We're inclusive. We jaga economy, fantastic, programs in the economy. But now he says we must now refocus on costs, affordable housing, and economy. He must be coming back from some Pluto, or some other planets in the universe, right? But what's interesting here, for me to emphasize, right? Kisang says impossible to implement a manifesto, but he says the manifesto, Buku Harapan, must become the Quran. Oh my God! I don't know. To my fellow Muslims, Mufti, Imams, Ustaz, I, as a Christian, would not even dare compare any book to that of Dhammapada, the scripture of the Buddhists, the Bhagavad Gita Upanishads of the Hindus, the Bible of the Christians, to the Quran. It is impossible to implement Buku Harapan, and now Buku Harapan must be equal to Quran. Is he saying the Quran is impossible to implement? I beg your pardon. The Quran is a revelation from Allah. It can be implemented, but asshole numbskulls make a choice not to implement or follow, isn't it? We have a choice. God gave us free will. We are the perfect creation of Allah. And God, Allah, handed down the revelation to the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him. So how in the world would an educated man like this fella, Rais Hussein Muhammad Arif, has the audacity, in the like what Kisang says, impossible to equate Buku Harapan to the Quran. Can you see how mirojak it is? To the fellow Muslims, I don't care where you are. This is what the reason why the country is shit. Because you have past saying, we don't care whether the leader is corrupt, useless, incompetent. So long as he's a Muslim, he shall lead, and he's a better leader than a non-Muslim who is not corrupt and has committed any crime. Has not committed any crime, you see. There's one extreme. No matter what, you must have a Muslim leader to lead, even though he's corrupt, a thief, a kleptocrat, okay, a money launderer. And now he says, the Quran, the GPS of the Muslims throughout the whole world, as a guidance. Okay. It says, Buku Harapan, after this, the manifesto becomes the Quran. Why become the Quran? Is what we need to deliver. These are his words. Alright? You can say, Matthias, this is your interpretation. No! These are his words. Manifesto becomes the Quran because this is what we need to deliver. Alright? So, is he delivering Quran? The message of the Quran to people of the world? Hussein? Rise Hussein? God said, you follow the Quran. He revealed the Quran. God don't have to deliver anything to the Ummah or to His creation. He revealed, you follow. Your choice. But now He compared, alright, the manifesto to the Quran. We need to deliver. Who's the we? I don't know. My God, I want them to deliver the Quran to me when it's so screwed up, mentally retarded. God forbid. So now you know why I'm so angry? This nonsense from a top leader of Bersatu. That's your strategy. Right? Who has a year of Tun Mahathir. Who discussed, deliberate at the Supreme Council of Bersatu. And maybe, I don't know, some other leaders of Kata Harapan. So you have three mosquitoes. Anwar Ibrahim, Kit Siang, and this chap called Rais Hussein. Last one is Lim Kuan Yin. Because I said in my WhatsApp message to all of you, right? And he would admit the straw that broke the camel back to sue the Chinese votes against PH was the arrogant demand by Lim Kuan Yin. MCA, you relinquish control of the Thai University, then I will deliver the 30 million. As if that money is his money. Private money for him to spend. So that if MCA refuses to relinquish ownership of Thai, he can say in his campaign, see, this money is available to you. But MC is preventing it. And he gave an undertaking, a challenge, that he will resign if MC relinquishes control of Thai. He do not pay the money, he will resign. See, this is all called convoluted, right? Thinking and rationalization. Arrogance. Pure arrogance. As if, you know, the people is also insult to the people at on the board of Thai University, or trustees as well, who has managed it is so well that hundreds of thousands of graduates have come out of that university, including some members, rank and file of DAP, PKR. Okay, Malays, Chinese, Indians enrolled in that university is beyond class, race, culture, religion. Emphasize that class, not just richer, anyone who qualify. Okay. Now, some of you may not know, Tun Mahathir approved this university. It was an idea fought for by Tun Ling Leong Sit, the then president of MCA. And the Chinese community worked very hard to raise donations to see the establishment. And to all of you may not know, right? Okay? When monies was approved by the previous BN government under Tun Mahathir and thereafter was given to the university, do you know there were representatives from the Ministry of Education and MOF on the board of trustees to ensure that the money allocated by government was well spent? Now, since its foundation, has there any allegation at all that the board of trustees or the board of directors, right, has mismanaged, misdirected, misapplied those funds? None. They are in power now. Masli is the Minister of Education. Guan Ning, you're the Minister of Finance. If you're not happy with your rep on the board of that university, you change your rep, isn't it? So, by saying you want to give the money, withhold the money, are you saying that your officers for MOF and the Ministry of Education is useless or incompetent? If they are so useless or incompetent, why do you change the representation to ensure, right, transparency and efficiency? But instead, you try to blackmail. You see, this is the cause. See, none of the leaders are ever admitted they are wrong, but blame everything on Tun Mahathir. Look, I'm not here defending Tun Mahathir because I'm not a party member of Persatu. Okay? All right? I am saying facts as I see it. And I can see these facts in total reality, away from all the blemish, because I have no vested interest. I dare speak truth to power. Understand? And you are now in power. I challenge you, any one of you, to a debate in public, okay? You rent the hall. You can even control the crowd. Make it live, live debate, okay? Broadcast on television, right? Okay, or whatever. Okay, stream live. If what I say is wrong, these are your words, your actions, right? And you know, tell me, we need more time. Again, Kuan says, we need more time. Sikit masa lah, bagi. Alright? What time you need to implement the reforms? But now you say, right, many of these promised under the reformasi package is impossible to deliver. And when I say, don't worry, treat the Buku Harapan as the Quran. See, how mischievous, how manipulative. Because then you dare not question, right? Who dare question the Quran, am I right? So you can't care, you don't question Quran, you can't question Buku Harapan. See, the left hand talking cock and bull, the right hand talking cock and bull, and both of them are clashing. Can you see why? I said to many people, I have witnesses, hell will break loose by December of this year. And finally, and I hope Tun Mahathir will take this statement from me in the spirit which I'm giving. I'm no saint, I'm no angel, but this I can show you. I witnessed it. Every morning I pray. I meditate. Now whether you believe me or not doesn't matter. Because thus far every insight from my meditation has come from my praying and my meditation. That's what I could forecast without hesitation. And from my research, everything I've said thus far in my video have come true. And I said upon the victory of the Pakatan Harapan government, our aim was only one thing: get rid of the scumbag criminal, kleptocrat, money launderer, Najib. But don't throw the baby together in the bathtub. The Badan Nasional is not all filthy. We have made many achievements under Badan Nasional. We have also a lot of failures. We can see the results of the previous government, 60 years. Fine. There were a lot of shit as well. But in the infinite wisdom of Allah, God Almighty, dude, you have been given a second chance in life. None of us, very few of us, are given a second chance in life to make good what we failed to deliver previously. Yes, you were surrounded by nincompoops, overrated, underemployed poops, nincompoops. But now, let me assure you, Tun Mahathir, I have the highest respect for you because I've served you for a long, long time as a volunteer. Yes, royalty can be bought by hefty salary, 5 figures, 6 figures. But I would urge you, Tun Mahathir, to look around clearly. Because God Almighty, Allah has given you a second chance. Don't squander the second chance. Oh yes, you have issued a challenge. If you don't like me, sack me. Right? I can understand your position, your stance. Right? You're fed up with all these people. You're so clever, sack me. Yes, from your point of view, from the human point of view. But I will urge you, Tun Mahathir, to walk away from that stance. And tell your fellow ministers, your fellow leaders of Pakatan Harapan, during the presidential meeting, or when you have dialogue, you're really dialogue with Anwar, and Wai Zizah, and Kit Siak and Guan Eng. We have been given a second chance by Allah. We don't need to compare Buku Harapan to the Quran. God gave you a second chance. That's it. Don't scorn it. And if by December 31st, 2019, it pains me to say this to him, but it's my belief from meditation, my insight, that if you don't take the giant step, because you have the courage, you're a man who's very determined, single-mindedness to do things. That's why you achieve so much as a fourth Prime Minister of Malaysia. But now, surrounded by power addicts and what have you, I urge you, do not let 31st December pass you by without a dramatic change. Summon the courage and the faith in Allah. The change must be now, not on or before APEC next year. It's too late. See, Anwar says that I will not be part of the cabinet. I'm only willing to be a PM when you hand over. Can you see? See, he was like kick and eat it. Because he's scared to be a Prime Minister now. He even said before he won't want to be a finance minister because so much problem, the government has no cash. As if when he takes over on whatever date, automatically everything is virgin clean. No problems, plain sailing, no storm. He will just like slow boat, you know, pedal a slow boat to China, everything hunky-dory. No such thing, lah, Anwar. No such thing. It is like up yours. No such thing. But why do you do that? Because if he's in government, then the entire plot will fail. He can't point to Anwar, to Mahathir alone. Reformacy is his program, his agenda. If he's in government, things fail, right? Who to blame? You're there, isn't it? I don't care what position you hold, right? So, he withdrew. He's scared shit. Scared shit to take responsibility. So he hid behind the presidential council meetings and president of his party. I said that's not enough. If he's sincere and genuine in implementing his Reformasi program, to tell his minions around him, when you attend the cabinet, you fight for my program. So, I'm sure he said that to his minions. But why? All of them, right? Alright? Did nothing. Rated 5 out of 10. But just past failure. In fact, to me it's failure. To this failure. And I think Tun Mahathir is giving face to these people by saying, well, I postpone it now, there's no urgency. And that the Presidential Council, can you imagine, will decide whether there'll be a reshuffle. If and when it's necessary. Excuse me, Anwar Ibrahim, Wai Zizah, Lim Kit Siang, Guan Eng, and this Hussein fella in Bersatu. The reshuffling of any cabinet is so prerogative of the Prime Minister. So, as in the Constitution, the power to appoint ministers, right, is only Agong in his absolute discretion, the Prime Minister. Thereafter, the Prime Minister appoints his entire cabinet. So now you want the Presidential Council to muzzle Tun, to tie his hands. He can't change the cabinet, which are your first rank Your first rank leaders, not second echelon. First echelon. Right? And you say what after the election? We take heed of the slap by the rakyat. We will change, we will improve. But you're saying, but if there's also some elements of like minions, overrated, underemployed leaders, they cannot be removed unless the Presidential Council agrees. What utter cock and bull is that? Utter cock and bull. Alright? Can you see it now? How you look, how you smell, how you sound. Bullshit! Bullshit and bullshit. Now, if you say, as Chang says, right, in his speech, right, he must, right, be frank with the people. Then be frank lah, okay, be frank lah, alright. Don't say Mahathir is a dictator, alright. Everything must be by consensus. This must be by the cabinet. Then why all you ministers, right, every now and then go and sit down and ask for Tun's approval and agreement to your policy? If your policy is correct, it's good for the country, you can inform Tun Mahathir as well as courtesy, alright? But why you run to him for approval? You stand by your decision as the minister, you fight it if you believe it in the cabinet with Tun and convince him otherwise. See, when you go and see Tun, there's some pictures every time, right? You see, right? My dear fellow Malaysians, right? Watch newspaper, right? There's a minister, alright? They launch something. Mahathir next to him. I don't care. I won't mention name, I don't embarrass them. Every minister, even the finance minister, holds the bag next to Mahathir. As if the budget is Mahathir's budget. His budget, isn't it? If you look at England, right? The Chancellor of Exchequer, he goes to Parliament with the bag, no Prime Minister around. He takes charge. It's his responsibility. It is his financial program. That is your responsibility. Your duty as the finance minister. Don't hide behind the skirt, right? Or the trousers of the Prime Minister. Have the balls, the spine to fight for what you believe. You're being a Minister of Education, Finance, Trade, whatever. You should know what are the correct policy. You debate in the cabinet, okay? And cabinet responsibility ensures that the majority decision will prevail. So you can't accuse Tun Mahathir of being a dictator, a pharaoh, if you go running to him, Tun, what do you think of this? Please approve this. And they say he's a dictator. What must you do if he's a dictator? You prove to you at the cabinet what you are proposing is correct. It's for the country. But you don't have the balls or the spine, backbone. You see the problem? So to my fellow Malaysians, before I conclude, right, I've summarized, I've tried my best to rush so much issues to be covered, right? This is reality, okay? The cause of the failure is only one, essentially. The entire PH government and leaders have become power addicts, okay? Addicted to power. As a result, right, they went bonkers, off tangent, and their head between their two legs, they can't think properly. So Tun Mahathir, when you come in from Korea, please, for the sake of the country, use the whip, the parliamentary whip, and put them in order and discipline. Alright? Why should you worry? People call you a dictator or a pharaoh. Announce a policy, debate it openly, and if the ministers have the better view, let them fight the proof in public. Okay? So we know the truth. I want transparency too. They keep on saying in the post-mortem, we should communicate better our policy, our views, as if you don't know that. Your cabinet, when the opposition, what they accuse, no transparency, no debate. They decide everything. But right now they're in power, same thing lah. Now they say, hey, give us more time lah. We must be more transparent, more open. Yo. Right? As if now they discover you must be more open, more transparent. You've been screaming transparency. Didn't you? You're screaming to be anti-corrupt. You see, it's easy to talk about, to be anti-corrupt. See, please, face the mirror on the wall and ask yourself, okay? What do I see in the mirror? A genuine servant of the people? The people is the boss? You are the servant? Or the other way around? I dare you look in the mirror and then say to all of us, one last chance before 31st December. I'm sorry, I'm wrong, I make mistakes, forgive me, I want to double down and work harder. Please don't wait for next election, 15th election. It's too late. If I'm useless, if I don't resign, demand the Prime Minister to sack me. That's to be the way. Don't say, give me more time lah. The 15th of December. We don't have the time to give you the luxury to destroy this country. Beyond what's destroyed. By Najib. Okay? For heaven's sake, we know who's Najib, okay? He's in court now, facing jail, okay? You're in control. And you said you will be a better government, you resolve the issue. So resolve the issue and stop giving bloody excuse. We know what is the cause of the problem. You've taken over. Solve it. Be united and solve it. Talk less. You want to fight in the bloody toilet. Right? Solve the toilet, but don't solve us outside. And when you have cleansed yourself of your rubbish and purified your soul, then come out and say, well, we have solved the problem. We are now okay. Okay? Until then, right? Piss off and do your own thing, your own privacy of the toilet. Okay? The country will not accept you as toilet paper or shit. With that, I conclude my remarks. Yes, it's very blunt. No holds barred. Because why should I? You screwed us. And you want kid gloves? You're adults, adults. But more importantly, as I said to my plea to Mahathir, surrender unconditionally to the will of Allah. No conditions. Have absolute faith that He will defend, protect, and guide us under all circumstances. Since your director of strategy talks about, right, equating Buku Harapan to Quran, let me say this to you too, Mahathir. That's rubbish. Okay, there's only one Quran, there's only one GPS, and that GPS now for kata Harapan to follow. Not the past interpretation, the Wahhabist interpretation, the Muslim Brotherhood interpretation, or any other interpretation. Whatever interpretation is subject to God's will. So long as you tell us, as Prime Minister and leader of Pakatan Harapan, okay, the Quran is our guide. We will live honestly. We will promote harmony, unity, and peace. That's it. Simple. One simple road, straight. You follow a straight road, everything okay. You won't be arrogant, won't be corrupt, won't be devious, won't be sinister, won't be plotting. With that, I thank you for your attention and wish you all well in the coming days. Thank you.